when the world suffers from the COVID-19 pandemic and there's a lot of uncertainty, Rainbow International School didn't let it hamper our learning and instead is taking immense measures to ensure our education doesn't take a hit. Be it online classes, workshops or competitions, our school has made it a priority to focus on our overall development. We didn't let COVID-19 demoralize us, and Rainbow International School is back again with yet another virtual exhibition. On this note, I welcome you all to the eImpulse 2021. With the guidance of our teachers, several of us have put in tremendous efforts to bring this exhibition to you. So sit back and enjoy it virtually from the comfort of your home.
Today I'm going to take you through my topic, which is a robotic arm. I made a prototype of a robotic arm, a cardboard one. A robotic arm, sometimes referred to as an industrial robot, is often described as a mechanical arm. It is a device that operates in a similar way to a human arm, with a number of joints that either move along an axis or can rotate in certain directions. In fact, some robotic arms are anthropomorphic and try to emulate the exact movements of human arms. They are in most cases programmable and used to perform specific tasks, most commonly for manufacturing, fabrication, and industrial applications. They can be small devices that perform intricate, delicate tasks, small enough to be held in one hand, or so big that their reach is large enough to construct entire buildings. Robotic arms were originally designed to assist in mass production of factories, most famously used in manufacturing of cars. They were also implemented to mitigate the risk of injury of workers and to free workers to concentrate on more complex elements of production. The first robotic arm was made in 1954 by George Devil, collaborating with Joseph Engelberger. Devil established the first robot company. These early robot companies were mostly employed to undertake simple tasks like welding. Thank you.
My name is Arya Vaingankar. I am from class 8C and my today's topic is pulse rate counter. It is just a small simple device to measure your pulse rate. Pulse rate, or also known as heart rate, it is the speed of your heartbeat measured by the number of contractions made by your heart per minute. We should measure our heart rate every day to know how our heart is working. If our heart is beating too fast, it may not pump enough blood to our rest of the body. This will starve our organs and tissues of oxygen and can cause shortness of breath. So this is a pulse rate counter, and now we will see how to measure our pulse rate. So first of all, keep it on your wrist, then rest your hand on a table and then just count the beats made by it per minute, so that you will know your pulse rate per minute. So that's it for today. I hope you liked my video.
To E-Exhibition 2021. My name is Dakshprit from class 8th. Today I am going to be explaining about why the area of circle is equal to pi r square with the help of this model.
As you can
So
see
let's
that
begin.
this circle has been divided into parts and arranged in this manner, which is somewhat kind of a rectangle. So this means that the area of this circle has been converted to the area of this rectangle. So if we conclude that the area of circle is equal to the area of rectangle. So what is the area of rectangle? Think a bit. I think you are right. The area of the rectangle is length into breadth. So according to you, what could be the length of this rectangle? So what could be the length of this rectangle? Yes, you are right. It is nothing but the circumference of this circle. But not the whole circumference is used in one side, right?
half circumference is used here and half of the circumference is used here. So this means that the area of the means that the length of this rectangle is equal to the half of the circumference of the circle. Means the length of the rectangle is equal to the half of the circumference of circle. The circumference, do you know what is the formula of the circumference of circle? Yes, you are right. It is 2 pi r. Now, what do you think could be the breadth? What do you think could be the breadth of this particular rectangle? Yes, you are right. It's nothing but the radius. This means that the radius means that the breadth is the radius. So 2 and 2 gets cancelled. The remains are pi r into r, which is equal to pi r square. Hence, with the help of this model, we have proved that the area of circle is equal to the area of rectangle. I hope you have understood.
My name is Suresh and I'm from 8C, and today I'm going to be talking about projectors. A projector has been an inseparable part of a university, schools and offices. One cannot imagine a presentation without a projector. All presentation rooms have projectors. So, what is a projector? Before understanding the concept of a projector and the working of a projector, one should know what projector is. Projecting things or images on the display screen is easy. All children love shorter play, and though it is simple, it figures as the basis of projection technology. There are various types of projectors. There are CRT projectors, there are LCD projectors, and there are DLP projectors. What are CRT projectors? CRT projectors are cathode ray tube. A CRT projector is basically a video projecting device. It uses a tiny cathode tube ray which has high brightness for image generation. A lens is kept in front of a CRT face which focuses the image and enlarges it to a big projection screen. What is an LCD? As you know by the name, the meaning of LCD is liquid crystal display. The word LCD resembles two states of matter, the liquid and the solid. A liquid crystal display uses liquid crystal to project an image or object. DLP, Digital Light Processing. Digital Light Processing (DLP) is a video innovation made by Texas Instruments that is utilized for front and back projector units. DLP is used in both back and front projections. It is regular for back projection in TVs and utilized in front projectors for units intended for organization and classrooms. How a projector works. A projector is an optical gadget that projects a screen or moving images onto a surface. Usually a projection screen, most projectors create a photo through projecting a bright light via a small lens. So this was all about projector. Thank you all for your time.
Good morning everyone, my name is Prarabh from class 8C and today I am going to tell you how to make a projector at home. For this you need a black acrylic color, brush, cutter, magnifying glass, marker, double-sided tape, glue, shoebox, 2 small pieces of cardboard and a phone. For the main structure we are going to use a shoebox which we are going to color black. After that we have to add a magnifying glass on one of the side of the box. Most of the projector have a lens like this which magnifies and projects the image on the wall or surface. Make sure the lens is right in the center and mark it with a marker and cut the marked portion using a cutter. For sticking the lens I am going to use a double-sided tape. For the stand we need a cardboard and our projector is ready. This works like our eye. When we see something, the image is projected on our retina upside down and our brain corrects it. In the projector also, the image is projected upside down. We have a brain to correct it, but the projector doesn't. So we have to switch off the screen rotation and turn the phone around to project it properly.
And salutations to each one of you. My name is Prisha Shah and I study in grade 8B. Today we are going to talk about the major conflicts that is between Israel and Palestine. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is amongst the world's most enduring conflicts. This conflict is going on about centuries and it is all about the ancient religious hatreds. Besides the regions being involved, the conflict is mostly about a group of two countries who claim for the same land. They're struggling to resolve this conflict since many years in order to bring in peace. In the next 1 minute, I will give you certain important details about these two countries. The Israeli Jews and the Palestinian Arabs both want the same land. Israel is the world's only Jewish state just east of the Mediterranean Sea. Palestinians, the Arab population, refers to the territory as Palestine and want to establish a state by that name on all or part of same land. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is over who gets the land and how it is controlled. And only United Nations plan to give each group part of the land failed. And Israel and the surrounding Arab nations fought several wars over the territory. Today's lines largely reflect the outcomes of these two wars. One was waged in 1948 and the other one in 1967. Now let us hear from Mayank Kumar furthermore about this conflict and how it occurred. Thank you.
Salutations to everyone. I am Mayank Kumar and I am here to give you a little smidge of information on the Israeli and Palestinian conflict. Now I ask you, how big do you think a country would have to be to have a battle which should be prolonged for around about 50 years? I'd expect you'd say a country which is at least as large as India. Well, you're wrong. It's Palestine. I suppose Israel have had a conflict which in this year has reached its 54th wartime anniversary. Let that sink in for a moment. So currently the Palestinians have occupations mixed with the Israelis in places such as the Gaza Strip, right over here, and the West Bank in this area. Now you will notice that I have color coded this model so that it will be easier to understand. So to make it even easier to understand, anything written in blue is Israeli territory and anything written in red is Palestinian territory. And in the special case where it's both blue and red, it is either on the border of both countries or it is divided into the two parts. And these green things here are mountains and hilly areas. So since 1897, this whole region had great and very immense tension because the very small Jewish population had a claim to homelands in this area. And the people who were living here at that time, the Palestinian Arabs, did not want to give away their land to the Jews. So the minuscule population of the Jews, I'm saying minuscule here because I'm comparing it to the whole of the Palestinian population, which covered the whole of Israel and the West Bank and Gaza Strip back in 1897. These numbers, like Palestinians number very large, Israeli number very small, this would change over the next few decades as more Jews would flock in from other nations to live in this area. After a sufficient number of immigrants came to Israel, back then Palestine, it's hard to understand, I know, but you will get the hang of it. When they came to this place, so many Palestinians were displaced from their homes that they were living in the surrounding Arab states. So just for reference, if this is Israel, to this side we will have Egypt, to the top side of Israel we will have Syria, and on this side we will have Jordan. I hope that makes sense. So all of this settling created a very big amount of tension between the Arabs and the Jews, which therefore culminated into the sectarian conflict between the Jews and Arabs. Now, early as well as current attempts to solve this conflict have utterly failed. Trust me when I say they failed. Making Palestinians in any of the Palestinian territories subject to Israeli military occupation, because even though they have a certain area within Israel, it is inside of Israeli water space and airspace. Therefore, the Israeli military will just storm over to their area, to the Palestinians' area, and will occupy it in garrisons. Now, well, as I said, there are people who are living in the West Bank, and they have 165 islands to live in, all of which are being some way or the other controlled by the Israelis. Through water, food, airspace, military, goods, services, everything. And then, after, like, let's say we jump ahead to 1947, on the year of our independence, let's say, there are a lot of countries supporting both sides of the conflict. So, supporting Israel in that time was the USA, the French country, Free Lebanon, and the Lebanese forces. Whereas the countries which helped the Palestinians get the area they have today come under the category of the Arab League, the former Soviet Union, now Russia. They have stopped supporting Palestine, Iran, and Pakistan. This is just a smidge of insight in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In other words, we have just scraped the surface.
Good morning, my classmates and respected teachers. My name is Janvi Nair.
And I'm Riti Karkhanis.
And today we are going to present the chosen topic for our class 8 mathematics in-path activity.
Our topic for today is going to be a bar graph showing the number of COVID cases in the districts of our very own Maharashtra.
To add to this, we've also made a presentation to show in detail the number of cases that were registered in 2021. Let us start with the bar graph. Me and my companion have made a 3D model showing how many cases have been registered within total of 2020 and 2021.
We have focused on 8 districts located in Maharashtra. The districts chosen by us are as follows: Raigad, Aurangabad, Nagpur, Nashik, Pune, Mumbai, Kolhapur, and Ratnagiri.
Just a note that these numbers may not be accurate as they are an estimation. So as you make out by the model, the number of cases in Raigad has an estimated amount of 2 lakh cases. Aurangabad has approximately 2 lakh cases again. Nagpur has about 5 lakh cases and Nashik has roughly 4 lakh cases.
Pune has 11 lakh cases or so. Mumbai has roughly 7 lakh cases. Kolhapur has less than 2 lakh cases. And last but not least, Ratnagiri has about 1 lakh cases.
Now let's move on to the presentation of today. Let's go into intricate details and have a glimpse of how the COVID-19 cases dropped and went through the roof.
All these details are to an estimation, so they may not be perfectly accurate. Consideration, our first district is Kolhapur.
The total number of cases in Kolhapur are 1,98,705.
Our next district is Pune.
The total amount of COVID-19 cases here are 10,47,736, which according to our bar graph is the highest number of cases.
Our next district is Mumbai.
The total COVID-19 cases in Mumbai are 7,37,715.
Our next district is Ratnagiri.
The COVID-19 cases here in Ratnagiri are 73,103. Moving on, we have the graphs of Aurangabad, where the total COVID-19 cases are 1,54,462. Then moving further, we have Raigad, which has 1,85,284 cases. Then we have Nashik, where the total number of COVID cases are 4,03,461. And last but not the least, we have Nagpur, where the total COVID-19 cases are 4,93,054.
Looking at the number of cases worldwide, We have found some simple yet effective measures so that you can help yourself and others around you to reduce COVID-19.
First, avoid touching surfaces, especially in public settings or health facilities, in case people infected with COVID-19 have touched them. Secondly, clean surfaces regularly with standard disinfectants.
Frequently clean your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your mouth, eyes, or nose to prevent the illness from entering your body.
This was our presentation for the Mathematics Impulse exhibition.
This has been a great honor for both of us to be chosen by our teachers to present ourselves in this Impulse activity.
I hope you've enjoyed our exhibition and learned something from this presentation of ours.
Hello everyone, myself Yashika Pandey from grade 8A, and today I am going to talk on the topic hydroponics. Hydroponics is the art of gardening without soil. Hydroponics is a Latin word meaning working water. Here, in the absence of soil, water goes to work by providing nutrients, hydration, and oxygen to plant life. Hydroponics is expensive to set up. Compared to a traditional garden, it is more expensive to acquire and build. So, here I am with a solution: DIY hydroponic system with plastic bottles. So, this setup consists of plastic cups that have holes in them so as to let the water flow away, a craft sponge, plant, and of course, water bottles. So, as you can see, I have placed the craft sponge inside the plastic cup so as it can provide a base and as a substitute for soil to the plant. The water bottles are filled with a bit of water that act as a nutrition giver here. The caps of the water bottles also have holes in them so as to let the excess water flow away. So, in this manner, you can make a DIY hydroponic system just at your home. Thank you.